Good morning, students. Today, from case taking, our last topic, that is case taking in unconscious patient, we are going to discuss today. In case of case taking in unconscious patient, always find out or distinguish between unconsciousness means which type of unconsciousness the patient is having, due to which thing or due to which reason the patient become unconscious. So this is very much important to find out the reason behind the unconsciousness or which type of unconsciousness is there. The first one is transient unconsciousness. We have to find out the transient unconsciousness, or is it a coma. So what is transient unconsciousness? That is, in transient unconsciousness, there is sudden loss of consciousness with complete or rapid recovery. It may be due to seizures, it may be due to cardiac arrhythmia, or it may be due to metabolic abnormalities. So we have to find out if the patient is having the sudden loss of consciousness, then why the sudden loss of consciousness is there. Is there history of seizures, history of cardiac arrhythmia, or any metabolic abnormality? Then if the patient is in coma, then what is first coma? As in transient unconsciousness, there is sudden loss of consciousness and complete and rapid recovery of the patient. And in coma, there is prolonged state of deep unconsciousness. The unconsciousness is very deep and prolonged, and it may be caused due to severe injury or illness. The patient is not awakened by any stimulation or any pain. That is coma. So we should find out which first, while taking the case in unconscious patient, we should find out, is it transient unconsciousness or is it coma. Then, because the reasons behind both condition, it is different, and we should find out the basic cause behind the unconsciousness. In such patients, we should consider all causes behind unconsciousness. What may be the causes? There may be anoxia, means severe hypoxia. There may be ischemia. There may be systemic infection. So, the first and most important thing is we should find out the cause behind the unconsciousness. Metabolic derangement or the cause, it may be the delayed effect of trauma. Many times there is subdural hematoma or meningitis which is arise from basal skull fracture, and it will give the symptoms after some time. Possibility of raised intracranial pressure, intracranial tension following parenchymal hematoma in patients with hypertension. So, when the patient is having history of hypertension, then there may be the possibility of raised intracranial pressure. Then decomposition of the tumor or collection of pus, it may be the reason behind the unconsciousness. As the head history is before many days, but then also never exclude the possibility of head injury. Patient, as the patient is unconscious, he is not able to give history of his unconsciousness, and while managing such patients, when we are manage such patients, we can collect the information from his relatives, his family members, or those who came with the patient, or those who observed the onset of coma, how the coma started, how the person become unconscious. So all these things we collect from the patient's relatives, his family, or the observer who are present during the onset of the coma, or when the patient become unconscious, the persons who are observing the person. Many times the consciousness is left or consciousness is lost so the circumstances in which the consciousness is lost are of vital importance, and it is helpful in diagnosis of the disease. If the patient gets sudden collapse in street or office, there is need to do different investigations by those who were present at that time in front or near the patient. If there is uncertainty in getting history, then telephone call to relatives, his medical attendants, it is useful, helpful when the patient is not getting anything or not getting the proper history with his observation or with his attendants. Then with the help of telephone call to his relatives, to his medical attendants, he can collect the symptoms, he can able to know his previous medical history, and all these things, they are very much important as well as useful. Also, in such patients, in unconscious patient, clinical assessment, physical examination, neurological examination also give us some hints for diagnosis. So in physical examination, which things we should observe in physical examination? The first and most important thing is pulse rate, blood pressure, respiratory rate, estimation of temperature. Is the patient febrile or having normal temperature? Then skin examination, then systemic examination like respiratory system, RS, CVS examination, per abdominal examination. It may give us some clues to find out the reason behind unconsciousness of the patient. If patient is having fever, then it will indicate, or it may be due to systemic infection, it may be due to meningitis, encephalitis, or any sort of abscess. In this way, with the proper physical examination, we can find out the reason behind his unconsciousness. With the proper systemic examination, we also, it may also helpful for us in diagnosing the condition of the patient. As for example, if the patient is unconscious, with seizures, then it may be due to meningitis, encephalitis, or abscess. So, to find out the proper diagnosis in the patient, in unconscious patient with seizure, we should consider all these three possibilities, that is meningitis, encephalitis, and abscess. Then hypothermia, it may be after exposure to low environmental temperature, intoxication with alcohol or barbiturate, failure of peripheral circulation or profound myxedema due to any infection, so we have to find out what may be the cause behind his unconsciousness, his hypothermia, when the patient become unconscious, and in that what may be the cause of hypothermia in unconscious patient. It may be due to low environmental temperature, it may be due to intoxication with alcohol, with barbiturate, failure to peripheral circulation, or profound myxedema. Then if the patient is unconscious and he is having tachycardia or bradycardia, then there may be evidence of valvular heart disease, peripheral emboli, which increase the possibility of cardiac disease. So, in case of tachycardia or bradycardia in unconscious patient, there may be chances of valvular heart disease, peripheral emboli, or possibility of cardiac cause. Then if there is bruits over carotid, if there is narrowing of the carotid vessel, due to narrowing of the carotid vessel, a sound was heard that is nothing but the bruits. So, it suggests cerebrovascular disease. If there is bruits over carotid vessel, then it suggests cerebrovascular disease. Splinter hemorrhages, that means if there is a tiny small blood clots appear underneath the skin, that is splinter hemorrhages. It suggests endocarditis or collagen vascular disease. Hypotension, which also raises the possibility of shock. If the patient, unconscious patient, is having hypotension, then The patient may be in shock. Myocardial infarction, septicemia, Addison's disease should be considered as a reason behind shock if there is hypotension. Then the odor of the breath of unconscious patient, it is also very important because it may indicate presence of alcohol. If ketotic factor raises, then there may be possibility of diabetes mellitus and the patient may become unconscious. So the ketotic factors, they are also very much important to find out their value in unconscious patient. Then factor of hepatic or renal failure which provide important clues while taking the case of the unconscious patient. While doing the physical examination, we should examine the nails of the patient, and if there is clubbing of fingernails, then there may be possibility of respiratory or GI abnormality. Tracheal deviation, fluid in chest or collapse of lung suggest possibility of respiratory cause. What may be the, while finding out the cause behind the unconsciousness, then we should find out that respiratory cause is behind it or not. Enlargement of any abdominal organ indicate portal hypertension, polycystic kidneys, associated subarachnoid hemorrhage. So if there is enlargement of abdominal organ, then there is, or it indicates the portal hypertension, polycystic kidney or associated subarachnoid hemorrhage. General color of skin and mucous membrane, it show or indicate anemia, jaundice, cyanosis or pink discoloration of carbon monoxide poisoning. So while doing the physical examination, the color of skin and mucous membrane, it is also very much important to observe because it may indicate anemia, jaundice, cyanosis, pink discoloration of carbon monoxide poisoning. Then if there is purpura, that means it may be due to there may be purple spots on the skin, and it may be due to the bleeding from small blood vessels. So if we found purpura, then it suggests the bleeding diathesis. Bruising around head indicate the possibility of trauma or a base of skull. Base of skull fracture. So if there is bruising around the head, as the patient is unconscious, he was not able to give the history where or which part of his body get affected, which part is not functioning properly. So after observing such unconscious patient, if we found bruise around the head, it indicates the possibility of trauma or a base of skull fracture. There may be possibility of trauma to the head, possibility of trauma to the skull, or there may be the fracture of the skull. If there is rash on the body anywhere, it indicates an infective or inflammatory disorder. There may be infection or there may be inflammation. Hyperpigmentation of the skin, which increases the possibility of Addison's disease. So our proper physical examination is very much important, and with proper examination we can find out or we can able to diagnose the patient. Then as we are doing the physical examination in unconscious patient, the neurological examination is also very much important in unconscious patient. In neurological examination, the most important thing to assess the neurological, as the patient is neurologically stable or not. To find out this, we have to observe as well as assess reflex response of unconscious patient. Position, posture, spontaneous movement of the patient should be noted. Then we should also observe we should also examine the neck stiffness is there or not. Especially in meningitis, we found the neck stiffness and the patient may go into unconscious state. Then, with the help of Kernick sign, we have to observe the meningeal irritation. To identify the meningeal irritation, Kernick sign is very much important. What is Kernick sign? It is physically demonstrable symptom of meningitis. Means, in this condition, the patient is having severe stiffness of hamstring, which causes an inability to strengthen the leg when the hip is flexed to 90 degree. So the patient was not able to straighten the leg when the hip is flexed to 90 degree. So this sign is, it may be due to meningeal irritation. Then ophthalmoscopy should be done in unconscious patient to find out the papilloedema, find out the fundal hemorrhages, emboli. Ears and fauces should be examined. So, in unconscious patient, ophthalmoscopy to find out the papilloedema, to find out the fundal hemorrhage, emboli, it is helpful. Ears and fauces should be removed. So in this way, through neurological assessment of eye opening, verbal response, motor response, through brainstem function, through motor function, we can found the neurological score of the patient. So all these things are very much important, that the patient is able to open his eyes or not, he was responding verbally to our questions, he was giving motor response, how his brainstem functions are, how his motor functions are, and by all these things we can find out the score of illness of the patient neurologically. During physical and neurological examination, which findings we get, according to that findings we can advise the investigations to the patient and Through these investigations, we can able to reach towards the cause behind his unconscious state. As for example, if hemiparesis, if there is focal seizures, then advise CT scan or MRI to the patient. If there is fever, then advise blood tests, lumbar puncture. If the fever is high grade, if the fever is continuous, not responding to any type of medications, then we should advise the patient to do some blood investigations, to do urine investigations. Then we do the lumbar puncture for CSF examination to find out the cause behind the disease. Treatment and management solely depends on identification of the exact problem. So, through all these things, through physical examination, through neurological examination, with our observation, through all these things, we can able to find out what is the exact problem of the patient. We can collect the symptoms from the patient, and according to the symptoms we can advise the patient some investigations, and with these investigations we can able to diagnose, or we can reach near the diagnosis of the disease. And so our plan of treatment, our plan of management of the patient, it solely depend on the cause behind the disease. It depend on the identification of the exact problem of the patient. So to identify exact problem, we should take the case properly in unconscious patient. Our observation should be very much proper, as well as the symptoms whatever we get, we can from those symptoms we can, as well as with the help of physical and neurological examination, we can advise the patient some investigation, and after doing investigations the patient is able to find out the cause behind the disease condition, or cause behind the patient's unconsciousness, his suffering. And when we get the exact cause of the disease, cause of the unconscious state, as well as with these things we can able to diagnose the disease condition, or we can able to diagnose, or we can able to find out the cause behind his unconscious state. And when we can able to identify the exact problem, after taking the proper history, then we can able to remove that cause, we can able to treat that cause with the help of similimum. So the case taking, especially in unconscious patient, it is very skillful job, and we should properly find out the history, find out the cause in unconscious patient, and then we can able to find out the similimum. In this way, the case taking in unconscious patient, it is very skillful job, and our observation, our way of observing as well as way of taking the case is very much important in such patient. Thank you.